What's up, YouTube? Okay, this is the third video I'm recording today, so mind your business about the outfit. Hi, welcome. If you're here to learn about how to deal with rejection in relationships, I hope that I bring some value to your life. There are some things that I've experienced that have taught me how to deal with rejection, and I'm gonna let you know now that it's not fun. There's no magic button that just allows you to get over it, but if you're mentally prepared for it and you can wrap your mind around a couple of these concepts I'm gonna bring up, then you're gonna get through it a lot quicker, a lot easier. So, the first thing to do with dealing with rejection is to actually set the tone prior to rejection even being a thing. Now, I'm saying this in a situationship, in a relationship. I am so sorry if you can hear the construction. They're still working outside. I'm gonna get annoyed by that. But anyways, not the point. So if you can set the tone in advance, then this is gonna help, okay? And what I mean by setting the tone is setting boundaries in place. If you know what you're looking for, then don't be afraid to speak up. There are so many people that are undecided, and I don't think that means that you should settle. So I'm not saying be manipulative and say oh, this is what I want, and if you can't give it to me, I'm out, just so you avoid the rejection. But you need to communicate, speak up. So for example, there's this thing that I do every time I meet someone new, is I just let them know that I am looking for something long-term. I am looking for a partner that wants to build towards marriage. I never say marriage to begin with because I feel like that scares a lot of people. You don't need to be decided on if you want to be married right when you meet me. No problem, I get that, but I do want to work towards something serious. I'm not just here for a good time, I'm here for a good, very long time. So this is something that I let people know when I'm dating them, because I don't want them to be misguided by any actions that I take or ultimately feel like they're leading me on. I feel like when I open our conversation on this and I say, yeah, I'm the type of person that likes long term, it also creates a safe space for them to explain where they're at. So some of them will be like, yeah, okay, me too, that's what I'm on. Or it's created a safe space for those that aren't really into what I want, and they're like, yeah, I'm actually not dating for anything serious, I just want to date to date, and that's okay. I respect that, but I need to know that. And that doesn't mean that I'm going to push them away either, because your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts are very fluid. So I could meet someone that said hey, this is not what I want, I just want to date you to date you. But maybe later on they realize that I'm a vibe. I'm the best vibe they've ever been with, and then they want to have something serious with me. Not saying that's happened, but it gives the opportunity, and it also allows me to understand that we're gonna be on different pages. I might be moving a little quicker in my head than where they're moving, so it kind of sets me up to know that rejection could possibly be there. Rejection is always going to be there, by the way. It doesn't matter if you're on the same page or not when it comes to what you guys are expecting. There could always be a potential of somebody meeting somebody else, or them just not feeling the same way you're feeling. So transparency is everything. Setting the tone in advance allows you to see into what may be the future. The other thing that has helped me with dealing with actual rejection, so now we're talking about, okay, someone has told me that they don't want to be with me, they view me as a friend, which is also a cop-out. You don't just view me as a friend. If you've physically been with me, that's too friendly. But anyways, whatever they've said, they've rejected me, they no longer wish to see me. You have to remember, this is something I taught myself, you have to remember that other people's emotions and feelings are so valid, They're valid. I know, what a concept. The world doesn't just revolve around you and your emotions and your feelings. These other people are allowed to be decided, allowed to be undecided. They're allowed to change their minds, but it also means I shouldn't have to stick around through that. So, for example, I've had people in the past tell me, oh yeah, I just want to be friends. I'm like, okay, that's great. I'm glad you feel that way. But because I like you so much, and because you've now told me you're not interested in me, I do not want to be friends. No hard feelings. I think you're great. Obviously, I thought you were great, but I'm going to need some space to recollect myself, reframe my mind about who you are to me. So, understanding that their feelings are valid, your feelings are valid, everyone is allowed to think what they want, to feel what they want, to say what they want, unfortunately. It would be such a nice world if we all could know if our partners or love interests are truly on the same page, or even friends are on the same page as us, but that's not the reality, so we need to respect them. And in those times of deep emotion, when being told that you're being rejected, you really need to understand that this is a decision that they made for themselves. This has nothing to do with you. Unless you're a cheater or you've made a really bad decision and they clearly don't want to be with someone like that. But again, it's something to protect themselves, something that they need to do for themselves. So the third thing to keep in mind when dealing with rejection, and this is kind of where I was going, is that their choices are most likely, hear me out, most likely not a reflection of you. Again, like I said, there could be a very valid reason that they don't want to be with you, but most of the time it has nothing to do with you. They're not ready for next steps. They found someone else. They realized through talking with you and getting to know you that they just love this other person more than you, more that they could see themselves with you. They've realized that they're not ready to be with you, or maybe they just realize that the vibe is off. Like, you guys are cool, but not on a level that they need from a romantic interest. And that does not mean anything bad about you. It just means that they're deciding what they want and what they don't want. I know that's like really hard to remember, and who the heck wants to be mature about things when they're emotional? I don't. But if you can create that space when they're telling you, hey, like, this isn't working out, if you can say, okay, thanks for being honest with me, thanks for letting me know. Obviously, you're gonna say that through some heavy emotions, but I guarantee you, it's gonna feel a lot better in the long run. 2-3 weeks are gonna go by and there's no animosity towards this person. You might still have some unresolved feelings or questions unanswered, but ultimately, it gives you the space to not hate them. You realize that they were just being honest and they were looking out for the both of you because they don't want to go forward with something that isn't genuine to them. So, that being said, there was a story I was going to bring up, and this has recently affected me. And when I say recent, I mean earlier this year. It's not anytime soon, but this is what triggered me to really think about rejection and understand the things that I've just told you. There was a person that I was talking to, and he was so cool. Like, everything that he talked about with me, I just was, it's like a sponge. I was soaking it up. I'm like, wow, you're teaching me all these things. That's a quality I look for in a man, is a man that can teach me things without mansplaining. He was so good at talking about things, filling me in on like artists and historical places, etc., right? So I found him really cool. We would go on dates every week. Like, we had a few dates every week. Like, it was very much dating, boyfriend vibes. There was one time I came over, we like had a really nice movie night, cuddled. He held me like boyfriends do, and I just had such a good time, like such good vibes, energy, everything, right? One day he hits me with a text saying, hey, I know that you're really into me. I just don't see you like that yet. I think we should be friends. And I had to sit and I had to think about it. And I was like, man, this really hurt. Mind you, he texted me at the most inconvenient time. I was at a friend's birthday party and I'm like, I cannot cry right now. I cannot let not a single soul know that I am hurt right now, because this day is not about me. It's about a friend. It's about her birthday. Like, this isn't about me. So I also matured in that sense. I didn't cry until I got into my car. But I had to, not only did I have to know that like he was making this decision for himself, like he clearly was being honest, and that's a hard thing to do. And he did admit that. He's like, I just didn't want to hurt your feelings. Like, I was fine with it. I respected that, but I had to think back. I was like, what triggered him to say this? And I could be completely wrong, right, in what I'm about to tell you, but this is what I've concluded. He was not ready for me. He did state when we first started dating that he's not the type of person to be in anything serious. So I had to already understand that we were already on two different pages. Like, I was dating him with purpose and he was dating just for fun. But also, I don't think he was ready for me in the sense of like, I knew what I wanted and he kept hinting things. So not in the sense of like, oh, I'm not really into you, but he kept saying these words. Wow, you have your whole life together. To me, I didn't think anything of it the first time he said that, but he said it a couple more times after. And to me, that's him voicing an insecurity on his part. Because I did mention, I was like, well, it may look like I have my life together, but I really don't. I have it just as much together as anyone else. Like, I don't have my own place to live at anymore. I had a place, but I don't. I have car loan, like a car loan that I'm paying off. I have credit card debt. Yes, I'm in school. Yes, I do the modeling. Yes, I'm learning YouTube. But I have my own things that still make me not put together, you know? So I was kind of flattered when he mentioned that, but I realized that he was feeling like I had more going on than he had. And that can be intimidating, especially knowing that I was looking for something serious and he was looking for fun. It's like, why would you involve yourself with somebody that's so sure of what they want, has their quote unquote life together, and know that you don't want anything like that, or you're not there yet? So I realized that he had some insecurities that he was like kind of saying, kind of portraying to me, and I wasn't really picking up on it in the moment, but the reflection after he told me that like he doesn't see me like that yet, I was like, okay, it's valid. It's all valid. And whether that be his reason or not, I hope that if he watches this, I'm not judging him. It's something that I've come to terms with. Maybe that's just how I'm interpreting it to allow myself to feel better. But there's nothing wrong with me. There's nothing like I could have done to make the situation better. And it just is what it is. I'm actually thankful that he came to that conclusion, because it allowed me to see how I deal with rejection, how I've progressed since I was a teen with rejection. And ultimately, it's opened doors for new connections and new adventures with other people that may want to actually be on the same page that I'm on. So there's no harm in being rejected, and I think that's something you have to understand. You're gonna be in a really vulnerable state, especially if it's done to your face. Like, how do you bounce back from that? Thankfully I've not had a face-to-face rejection, but that's hard. It's hard. I mean, it's even hard telling someone you like how you feel about them. Even if it's positive vibes, it's just like you feel vulnerable, and there's a lot of respect that comes with someone rejecting you kindly. So in the event that you have not been rejected kindly, it's also okay to feel upset and feel sad, especially like in the sense of ghosting. If someone's ghosted you, you can't even ask the questions you want to ask or acknowledge that things are coming to an end, and like, it sucks. It really does. But like I said, set the tone in advance, okay? Remember that people are entitled. They're so entitled to their own feelings, emotions. Everything's valid for them. Even if it may not be valid to you because you're main character in your life, you know, it's still valid. things happen for a reason. Sometimes people have more insecurities. It has nothing to do with you. It's just them working through things that they need to work on. A good partner would stick around and allow you to help them work through their things. But you can't get that from somebody that doesn't want that. So hopefully you've taken away something good out of this rejection story. Hopefully you can practice knowing that things happen for a reason, and like you should value and respect someone that tells you straight up that they don't see you the way that you see them, even though acknowledging that your feelings are valid and you are going to be hurt for a few days. Good things are to come. It's not the end of the world. Things will get better. And yeah, I hope you took something away from this that's of value to you, and make sure to practice these things when you're going through rejection. I love you guys so much. I am going to now go take a nap because it's giving nap vibes in this Airbnb. I love you. I love you. I love you. Have a great day. Bye.